This one does,
Oh, okay.
because I took it out of the bag.
Okay. So I
Thanks
just-
for having a backup.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't, and I don't know, I think these batteries are easy to get, right? I think it must be the battery.
Yeah.
Little, those are 12 volt,
Yeah.
12?
It's a CVS item.
Oh, good, all right.
I know I just put fresh ones in there. the other
And
one.
this, yes, I
Yeah.
tested it tonight.
Yeah.
I was doing this, and I'm like, it's not moving.
Oh, did you
All
put
set?
the little
set?
doohickey in the back?
Oh,
of it?
yes.
Bring the meeting to order. It is February 13th, 2012. This is a meeting of the North Reading School Committee. We open up by asking if there's anybody in the audience that has any public input that they'd like to contribute. Anybody? Mr. Simons, can you come up and use the microphone so we can all hear you and everybody at home can hear you?
Thank you. Hello again. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Oh, God.
You ready, Jerry?
Was it today or tomorrow?
Oh, it's tomorrow. You okay?
Tomorrow.
You got time.
It's safe.
CVS is still open.
All right.
Jeff Simons. I'm the chairperson of the Invest in North Reading Ballot Question Committee for the new schools. And I was here last time addressing something that we've been hearing from voters about the potential increase in budget that might result from having a bigger school and having to fill it with more teachers, and we discussed that adequately, I think, last time. But in the last couple weeks, I've been hearing another issue that I'd like to bring up, maybe shed a little light on it, and then hopefully in your discussions of the school that you can support this and kind of clarify this misunderstanding. And it, again, has to do with taxes. This is the big issue. It's a big financial issue for people. There's no question about that. So it's important that people understand how much this is going to cost them. But the misunderstanding that we've been hearing more than a few times, in addition to the issue of possibly needing to increase school budget, which we talked about last time, is that if the school project is successful, as we all hope it is, and everybody real estate values increase in North Reading as a result of having much better schools, much better facilities, that not only will their taxes go up because of the increase to pay for the schools, but because the valuations have increased, that therefore people's taxes will go up because they pay a certain rate per thousand, and now their houses are going to be worth a lot more money, and they're going to be hit again, like what some person called a double whammy. So I think this is a very common misunderstanding about how the tax rate works. I'd like to provide a brief explanation, but then ask you either at the moment or when you get to talk about the schools is to reemphasize this point that to clarify this for voters, that this is not going to be an increase in people's taxes other than the cost for the school building itself. And I think people's misconception is that if house prices go up, then the tax rate per thousand would stay the same, and that is incorrect. And the way I've been explaining to people is if their houses go up, in value, that does not change the amount of money the town, the schools, the fire department, the police, the DPW. Just because people's houses are worth a lot more money does not change how much it costs to run the town. There's a certain amount of money that needs to be collected, and that gets divided out amongst the number of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of real estate that there is in town. And in fact, if the houses went up in value, the tax rate would go down, but the amount of money collected by the town will stay the same. So I'm hoping that you can amplify on this, clarify this for people. In addition, of course, the other issue that I think people sometimes forget is that the amount of money that the town collects cannot go up more than 2.5% based on Prop 2.5. And so it's, if the higher, say hypothetically, real estate values went up by 10%, in fact, the selectmen could not. It would be illegal for them to leave the tax rate the same, because then, of course, the tax collections would go up by, in that example, 10%, and they cannot do that. So I'm open to any of your comments either now or when you get to that part of the meeting, but I just want you to be aware that this is an issue that people are confused about, and just want to assure voters that the cost of this project is limited to the cost for the school building itself, the bonding over the 25-year period and the cost of the school, and not increased school budgets, not increased tax collections because house values goes up, and so forth. Thanks.
Thanks, Jeff. Any comments from members of the committee? Anybody? Mel?
I mean, the cost of the school is what it is. It's not, if your house value goes up to $1 million from $500,000, that's good for you. But the cost of the school remains the same, correct?
Cost of school remains the same, but I think some people were concerned that when we use, as part of our, the campaign to build a school, the real estate values will go up. The amount that they can levy for taxes is based on what they levy this year plus 2.5% for next year, and they don't even have to levy that 2.5%. That's an option that the Board of Selectmen have when they set the tax rate. So the overall amount that they collect from taxes doesn't change. The assessors can value homes differently, and those homes, based on their value, some may go up and some may go down. It depends. So it's not going to change the tax rate or the amount that the town can levy for tax collection based on a new school being built. The new what it's going to cost for the new school is going to be spread out over 25 years. It's going to be in equal payments throughout the 25 years, and that cost is going to be separate and apart from the amount that the town's allowed to levy to collect taxes to pay for town services and school services. Kyle, do you want to elaborate on that at all?
You know, Jerry, I don't think I can
Yeah.
improve upon what you've said, but
Okay,
thank you.
All right. So that's Cliff.
Let me try to help a little bit. Well, I'm not sure I will, but I'll try anyway. If the schools had such a profound impact that all of the home values in North Reading went up 100%, that would make everybody's home worth twice as much as it is today. Their tax rate would drop to 1/2 of what it is today,
Exactly.
and their tax bill would stay the same.
Right. Okay.
Does that help? Or?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. But I think that's the problem that people are having. They don't make that connection. And of
I
course,
can see where people might have that
Yeah.
misconception that, your real estate values are going to go up, therefore your taxes are going to go up.
hear it commonly. And then, of course, the last thing to remember too is ultimately it's not the selectmen or you or anybody else that decides how much we spend. It's town meeting. So if somebody has an objection to the amount of money that's being spent in town, they can come to town meeting and tell departments to decrease their budgets.
Right.
The people, the voters themselves have the last word on how much we spend in town. So that's another thing. And just want to make sure that people don't get the perception that this is just going to give carte blanche to the selectmen or the school committee to use this opportunity of increasing house values to crank up how much money
No,
their
we're
tax
going to have the
bills are
same
going
amount of money to work with whether we build a school or we don't.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is our student report. We have Kristen Shevlin tonight, and Kristen's going to deliver the report. I'm not going to use her nickname that I just heard from Mrs. Brown, but
So last Friday, girls and boys had basketball games, and the boys won by 2 points, and the girls lost by 1 versus Amesbury, and they need 1 more to get into states, and they have 3 more games this week.
the girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a really good chance of making it. Maskers put on their play Friday and Saturday night this week, and they also put on 3 plays the week before, and it was a big hit, and I know there was a good turnout to all the shows. We have a readout tomorrow for school. 2 weeks ago, we had a American Heart Association assembly, and at the end, we could buy shirts and for Valentine's Day tomorrow, and to support this association, we can wear red to school. And also, Maskers is doing choralgrams, and you can sign up and you can buy your friend a song that they'll sing to them during school. Last week, Hive was canceled, and it's rescheduled for next week or in March. And National Honor Society forms are due on Friday if you want to participate in it. Last week, mock trial won against Tewksbury. It was 98 to 87. Over the weekend, swim, they had Cals, and the girls were on Saturday, and the boys were on Sunday. And I know some girls and a couple boys qualified for states, which we'll have coming up. Track had Cals the week before, and the boys won the 4x2, and Emily Murray won in her division.
The shot put, right?
Yeah, the shot put. And in wrestling, Richie Falcione, who's a senior, he came in 5th in the Division III states, and he's moving on to all states now. Our vacation starts on Friday. Last week we had a presentation called The Yellow Dress for juniors and seniors, and freshmen and sophomores had an assembly called The Lesson, and it was, for juniors and seniors, it was about abusive relationships. And SLAM met for the last time last week to mentor the freshmen. And that was it. And my student work is another Spanish project we had to do. It's it was photocopied wrong. Sorry, but we had to make a brochure of an island that we made up, and we got to work with like a group of partners. And the first column is like about the island, and the second is about like the sports that you can do, like kayaking or windsurfing or snorkeling on your island. And the last is a review or an account by a person that went to your island in Spanish.
Any questions or comments for Kristen?
When you have a trial, do you get a score like they do in mock trial?
No, it's pass-fail. No 98 to 87s. Yeah. Great, Kristen. You're really getting into the Spanish, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, any questions, comments, anything? Kristen, thank you very much, and feel free to get going. I'm sure you have a lot of work to do.
Thank you.
You don't have to leave, but I mean. Okay, next on the agenda,
Thank
we have our update on the secondary school building project. I'm going to ask the superintendent if she could deliver that update.
Thank you, Mr. Venezia. The last SSBC meeting was held on Tuesday, January 31st. And as you all know, on January 25th, the MSBA board voted to approve the proposed middle school, high school project. The need for a traffic study was discussed at the last meeting and will be conducted through our architect store in Whittier. And in addition, the need for an abutters hearing was discussed, and that has been scheduled for Tuesday, February 28th, 2012, beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. in the middle school large group room. A question of the week feature has been initiated in both the transcript and on Patch. And Mr. Simons, who you heard from this evening, addressed the SSBC and described the many initiatives underway. The members of the SSBC, the school committee, and the Board of Selectmen have been invited to a campaign finance information seminar on Wednesday, February 15th, 2012, at 7 p.m. in the Selectmen's Meeting Room, number 14 at Town Hall. Our town clerk, Barbara Statz, arranged for the Office of Campaign and Political Finance to make this presentation. If you just shut the cover, that would be great. I don't need that for a while, but thank you. And if you have not yet responded to our town clerk, please do so, because she'd like an accurate count of the members that will be attending. And the next meeting of the SSBC is scheduled for Tuesday, February 14th, that's tomorrow, at 6:30 p.m. in the high school modular cafeteria.
Thank you.
You're up, Jerry.
Huh?
No Valentine's Day for you?
No, that's only the half of it tomorrow. We've got meetings.
Yeah,
you
I know.
Yeah. Comments, questions, Cliff?
Yes, and one item to add to that is the qualifications for the CM are due in on February 15th, Wednesday.
And Mr. Bowers is a member of the secondary school building subcommittee that will be interviewing the CMs. When do you think, Cliff, we'll have somebody on that? This is going to be actually the
well,
construction
this
manager,
is
the
just-
person that's going to be
This is just the qualifications
Right.
documents.
Right.
And then in early March, we'll go out for proposals to a select group of the firms that submit. Right now, it looks like we have 6 respondents that are in on
a very important part of the process. Kath, did you have any?
That's it?
Jerry?
Mel?
The SSBC and the school committee and the superintendent and the faculty and everybody involved with this project have been doing their best to try to get the word out. And I just want to refer people to a couple of places where they can get information. One is there's a Facebook page now that's called Invest in North Reading. Please go there. Please like it. Please share the posts that are made every day with your friends so that information can get out. There's also a website. It's nrssbc.org, and it has an incredible amount of information on it. The same questions that'll be running in the transcript and on the patch are also on that website. And I'm gonna do this every meeting and every time I have a chance. The information is there. So come March 19th and come March 24th, there really shouldn't be anybody in this community who says, geez, I really don't have the information. I didn't know how to get it. The information is there, whether you don't have a computer and just read